G'day guys, Aaron Chandler here for Forever Football, your Doncaster Rovers content. Another win, clean sheet, 2 goals, 3 points, up and away, championship, here we come. 2-0 win over AFC Wimbledon. Brilliant performance, quite a few things to digest tonight. Matt Smith, Taylor Richards, the 2 goals, man of the match, player ratings, it's all going down today. Please like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. We're getting closer and closer every single day to the next milestone on this channel, 400 subscribers, and we're going to keep going with these. The watch-alongs have officially ended. It's the end of the watch-alongs. We are just going to be sticking to previews and reviews. The watch-alongs will return in a couple or a few years' time, depending where the channel is at. And for now, let's get into our first talking point, and that is my official man of the match for this game, Matt Smith. So Matt Smith is my man of the match, and the reason why I decided to go with Matt Smith as the man of the match is because he just delivered. He absolutely delivered. He was the supreme playmaker, and if you don't know any background on this guy, basically he comes from Manchester City on loan. He's from Pep Guardiola's squad, and he brought that Manchester City-esque abilities with him, especially tonight. Sorry, but ever since he's come into this club, he's brought that Guardiola-style playmaking abilities that he's learned, I'm guessing, from the older players that play more first-team football, the likes of Gundogan, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, all these types of players that play in the first team for Man City. You know, the youngsters are going to have to learn from these for the next generation of the midfield, and, you know, whether Guardiola's there or not. Matt Smith definitely learns those qualities, and I think that he'd be a welcome addition permanently to this squad. But the reason why I'm giving him man of the match, and I know a few other people have given him man of the match, is because, you know, overall he's just a complete playmaking threat. And pretty much for about a total of 80 to 85 minutes of the match, we were pretty much all over Wimbledon. They couldn't even get a chance in. I think at one point in the second half we had 6 shots. No, sorry, I think we had 6 shots. They had 5 overall. We had about 3 on target. They had none. That's how clinical we were, and that's how on top we were. The fact they only had a few shots, they weren't even on target. So, you know, fair play to us for doing that. And Matt Smith sort of controlled our midfield and sort of really tried to play it out and make his way out of situations and play lovely balls through and work it in with the full-backs and the defensive backline if we needed to pass backwards. And, you know, Matt Smith definitely has those qualities to be a superb playmaking midfielder. Another player that I've put in the spotlight today is, of course, Taylor Richards. This guy, I swear to God, this guy, he's just wonderful. He's just absolutely wonderful. Absolutely amazing, you know, addition to this squad. He's just a wonderful player to have in this squad. And Taylor Richards was one of the goal scorers today. Let's talk about the 2 goals, shall we? So for Okunabiri's goal, we'll talk about in a bit. But while we talk about Taylor Richards, let's talk through that second goal. Cheeky little step over through on goal. He's got options either side, but he thought, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And he went for it from the 20-yard box. Absolutely wonderful goal, and it matches with the first goal in a way as well, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But Taylor Richards' overall play was brilliant. He was taken off during the second half, to the end of the second half. But, you know, Richards, when he was playing, he did really, really well. He's close to being man of the match, but not quite man of the match. But he's very, very close. There is a few players in the match today that could have been man of the match today. It's not just Matt Smith. There's a few players. You know, Balcom, Anderson could have been an option maybe. Halliday, definitely. Fajiri Okunabiri at times showed man of the match performances at times throughout the match. So yeah, there's a few people that could get man of the match tonight. But I chose Matt Smith. But Taylor Richards is another close one. Fajiri Okunabiri. Now this brother, this guy, if this is his last game at striker, since we're bringing in a new one, hopefully this week. If this is his last proper game at striker position, we put him back on the wing from now on. What a game to go out on with a goal inside the first 10 minutes. A nice early goal, settle the pressure on us, put the pressure back on Wimbledon and keep the pressure on. The second half wasn't as entertaining as the first half, let's be honest, but the first half, very entertaining. And the goal from Fajiri Okunabiri, wonderful. Good play through, and Okunabiri had the chance from 18-yard box and thought, you know what, I'm going to smash it, and so he did. Wonderful, wonderful goal from Fajiri Okunabiri to go with the Taylor Richards one afterwards, towards the end of the first half. And overall, Fajiri and Taylor both took their goals amazingly well. So let's have a look at the lineup. Let's have a look at the starting lineup. For those of you who don't know exactly who was in the lineup. So in goal was Ellery Belcom. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think he was brilliant in goal, kept everything out. There was actually something in the second half what I wanted to mention, and it was the moment when the ball came in, and he's got four Wimbledon players going to him, and he manages to knock a Wimbledon player over, not in a foul-y kind of way, but sort of strength kind of way, and just punch it out like Roman Reigns' Superman punch, just knock it out, like a knockout punch from a boxer. It's wonderful distribution. His distribution, I think, statistically and analysing it in detail, his distribution around his goal has slowly and quickly improved. It's 100% improved from when he first came in. His distribution in the Blackburn game at times was, could have been worked on. But game after game after game, he just keeps improving his distribution. He couldn't do anything about the West Ham goals in the FA Cup. He couldn't do anything about that. But apart from that West Ham game and apart from a couple of moments in his first game against Blackburn, his distribution has continuously improved as goalkeeper. And he reminds me of Seny Dieng with how many clean sheets he's going to get. And this is, I believe, the second clean sheet in 3, as well as the 4th win in a row. Wow. Fourth win in 5, should we say. Just wow. Just absolutely wow. Going into that back line, start at left back. Cameron John, I'm going to give him a 7. I think that overall he was good. It was great, actually. And just little mistakes here and there. Hopefully, with a new midfielder coming in, obviously they announced the signing of John Bostock. We will do a full transfer analysis tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But with Bostock coming in on Saturday for the game against Lincoln, hopefully for Saturday, and with hopefully Sims coming back, we've heard reports today that he's agreed to come back, with a striker coming in as well. The signings all over the pitch, and hopefully we put James back at left back, and John can just be there when we need him as a centre-back replacement. Danny Amos and Brendan Horton is our left-back options on the bench for now. And our centre-back options are Wright and John when Butler and Anderson need a rest. So hopefully John will be there as a centre-back when we need him. Hopefully this is his last game as a left-back, but I don't think it will be. Going into the centre-backs, Andy Butler, I'm going to give him a 7. I think that overall he was decent, really good in the back line. Put himself about, distributed himself well, got in a couple of good blocks, and overall had a decent performance. Captain Anderson, 8. Got to give him an 8. Wonderful play from Anderson today. Brilliant defending, heroic defending, and overall, you've got to look at what he's been doing in the squad since he's been made captain, and he was already amazing before the captain's armband, and now he is becoming the true captain, and that's just so exciting. And he's the perfect man to take over from Ben Whiteman when he left the club. But overall, decent from Tom Anderson. Brad Halliday gets an 8 as well at the right back position, back in his normal position. That's where I want him. He can play right wing, don't get me wrong, but I want to see him at right back. And then if we need to sort of put someone as more of a stopper, like a Joe Wright at right back or something, for the last 20 minutes or so, then we put Halliday more forward. If we need to take off a winger for fitness wise, then hopefully we do that, because Halliday can play attacking and defending. He was brilliant. He should have got a goal today, in my opinion. I think there was 3 or 4 chances where he could have got a goal, and it could have been 5 or 6-0 today if it was more on target. But Brad Halliday really came close. There was that shot that he hit the bar in the second half. My giddy auntie, that was a really close chance. Then a few minutes later, he was put through, similar to one of the goals he scored early in the season, where he sort of got put through outside the box and he swerved it and it sort of hit the side netting. So, it went through and it scored last time, but when he did that, but this time it hit the side netting. So he should have got a goal today, in my opinion, and he was one of the better defenders along with Anderson. Midfield now, Reece James, he gets a 7 for me. Decent in the midfield, did his defensive duties, played the midfield well. Overall, couldn't be more happy with Reece James' performance. Matt Smith, I'm going to give him a 9. Man of the match, of course. Comment down below if you think Matt Smith was man of the match. My opinion, why Matt Smith was man of the match is because his playmaking, his distribution, his passing, his organising of the midfield. I think with an experienced head like John Bostock, once James is back at left back, and with Matt Smith as the youthful playmaker, and Bostock as the experienced veteran head that will help him organise the midfield, mate, this midfield will be unstoppable for the rest of the season. He's on an 18-month contract, don't forget Bostock, and Smith's on a year loan from Man City. If we make Matt Smith permanent, and we keep Bostock in for an extensional year past his 18 months, my giddy auntie, we've got a strong squad going into next season, hopefully as a championship club. Going into the attacking third then, Simeo's on the left wing, going to give him a 7. Overall, his technical ability frightens opponents, and it scares me as a fan sometimes, because you're like, don't give the ball away after all those skills. But his technical ability to put defenders on the backside, to roll defenders over like it's the National Lottery rollover, it's just amazing, absolutely incredible. And I can't give much more praise to Simeo's because he's been wonderful since he's come to the club and continuously growing as a young player. So I'm happy with this transfer, and I hope we keep him. Barnsley fans, if you want us to keep him, we'll gladly keep him because he's a wonderful player. In the cam position, Taylor Richards, I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I'm going to give him an 8 because physically got the goal, did brilliant, and overall I'm going to give him my credit. I think, again, Taylor Richards, my God, this guy. He's like our Mesut Ozil in his prime. He's like our Kevin De Bruyne. He's like our proper playmaker. And, the goal he scored, the physicality he shows in the game consistently is Championship to Premier League standard. And that's the kind of guys we want in this club. So hopefully we make this guy a permanent transfer, because if Man City can sell him to Brighton for $2.5 million and we get a cut price deal on him on a permanent from Brighton in the summer, I mean, what's more to love? What's not to love about that? Then on the right wing, John Taylor, I'm going to give him a 7. Ran about, put himself about a bit, got in a few crosses, but overall did all right. And then Okunabiri, a 7 again. I'm going to give him a 7 because I think it was an 8 in the first half. Then it sort of came down in the second half because he wasn't really about as much in the second half. So, I think the second half kind of brought his mark down just because he wasn't really getting involved as much as the first half. Still got involved quite a bit, but not as much attacking-wise and getting on goals. So, that's why I sort of brought his mark down from an 8 to a 7 going into that second half. So, but overall for Jiri, I can do nothing but rate his performances, and overall he'll be great back on the wing and back playing in his normal position. But of course he can be there when we need him at striker if Bogle or someone else that comes into the club gets injured, because we saw the images, we spotted Omar Bogle at the training camp at Cantley Park, so maybe Bogle is coming to this club. We don't know for sure yet, but he has been spotted at Cantley Park apparently. So is Bogle coming to the club? We don't know. Hopefully that gets announced at some point. But whoever is coming in at striker confirmed, then hopefully he'll be our number 1, our number 9, shall we say. But not really wearing the number 9 because that's what Okunabiri wears. Going into the subs then, obviously we brought on Wright, we brought on Greaves, and we brought in Williams. So Williams going to give a 6, didn't really do as much, but overall put in a decent shift, held the ball well, and just overall was a part in just keeping the game comfortable. Greaves, I've got to give him a 7. The West Ham watch along might be deleted now, but I'd love to get Greaves back on this channel at some point and do a proper, separate chat with him, because he's off camera, he's a lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy, and on the pitch, again, he shows why he's the N'Golo Conte of this team. He just irritates the opponents. As soon as he came on, first foul, put himself a bit, not afraid to put himself into tackles, and win the ball back. He's the Conte of our midfield, and as a future homegrown talent, I'm really excited about this guy. And then finally, Joe Wright. I'm not going to give him. I'm going to give him the average 5, but that is only because he didn't come on and show enough to give him a proper mark. So the average 5 for Joe Wright, but that's only for that reason. So, what about on Saturday? What about Saturday's game? Well, this is the Lincoln match. This is the big game at Sincil Bank, and wow, what a game we've got. What a match. They beat Portsmouth 1-0, so we go third, and Lincoln are still top of the league, because of course Hull lost to Accrington. Good one. And Lincoln are going to be the big game. If we can get past Lincoln, I swear the sky's the absolute limit. And I think if we win by a certain number of goals, we could actually go top on goal difference, which would be wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And maybe it could send Lincoln on a bit of a downward spiral if we get the win past them on Saturday. So we'll see how that game goes at Sincil Bank, but I'm looking forward to it. I'll give you my full predictions on Friday or on Saturday morning. I might record it on Friday and then release it on Saturday morning on the day of the game. But, you know, the preview will come out before the match anyway. So stay tuned for that one. There will be no watch-along, of course. We've stopped the watch-alongs now for a good couple of years. We're going to get a whole brand new setup ready for the watch-alongs in a couple of years' time. And hopefully we'll still be a championship club by then. We'll be a championship club by then, or even bigger, maybe in a Premier League club. But overall, tonight, couldn't fault tonight's performances. 2-0, we take the win, we take the clean sheet, we take the 3 points, and we go into the Lincoln game with loads of positive thoughts. And there are loads of positives going into this season, because you've got to think, and this is something to think about going into the Lincoln preview. We're going to have Bostock in, we're going to have hopefully Josh Sims in the squad back, and we're hopefully going to have a striker in as well. Maybe it's Omar Bogle, maybe it's someone else, we don't know. But I think hopefully by Saturday we'll have a striker, Josh Sims and John Bostock in the squad. So John Bostock definitely in the squad. Sims has agreed a deal. Hopefully that's announced either tonight or tomorrow, or Thursday. And then we'll hopefully have a striker eligible for the Lincoln game as well. Hopefully get that passed and through by Friday. So hopefully we get all that over the line and we go into this Lincoln game with new signings, new confidence, and a complete breath of fresh air off the back of this brilliant win. So thank you very much, guys, for watching today's match review. Donny Rovers 2, AFC Wimbledon 0. Good luck to Wimbledon for the rest of the season. And for now, guys, my name is own channel for Forever Football. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the John Bostock transfer analysis and possibly even a daily report as well. And for now, thank you very much, and that, my friends, is full time.